Okay, so what services do you provide?
So we provide legal advocacy and assistance for any area that people might be experiencing discrimination. We do set priorities every year, every fiscal year. Our fiscal year starts in October, and those priorities are directed by the work that we do and the partners that we have and the community at large. We have a survey and we ask people for feedback on the areas of concern that they have in terms of disability discrimination, and we try to direct our work that way. If people call with concerns that fall outside of our priorities, it can be difficult for us to help them through that through legal advocacy. But we do have a good intake and referral system, and we will refer them elsewhere to other resources that will be able to help them through that problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like, are there any stakeholders that you partner with closely, like in the community? And like, what are they? Um,
Yeah, so we are a statewide organization. So we try to partner with as many organizations as possible. We partner with other statewide organizations like the Colorado Cross Disability Coalition and the chapters of the ARC. Um, and then we also try to have good stakeholders in the areas outside of the metro area because we are based in the metro area. But it's important that we try to collaborate with people who live in more of our rural and frontier communities. So, we try to find organizations that have similar missions as us, and really try to partner to get some good work done in those communities. We also do a lot of legislative advocacy for people with disabilities. So, if we're seeing big systemic issues, we try to advocate for change at the state capitol.
mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. So like, what impact does your organization have on like communities as a whole? Like, what's sort of the effect of that, if you can speak about that?
I mean, not without getting into too much detail, we I think our work can be very impactful when you do work on a systemic level on, the kind of big picture stuff. It can be hard to really see the progress because some of these issues, like housing or education, these types of issues are really large and they involve so many people. And so, you think you make progress, but progress might be just moving that needle just a little bit more, and it might not feel like that the work is finished because frankly it really isn't at a systemic level. At the community level, or at the what do I want to say here, more in individual communities, I think that our work is important to do. Our work in terms of outreach and communication is important just so people know who we are and know that if they need help and if they feel like they're being discriminated against, that they have somebody or a partner at the state level that can help. So that's what we try to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. So finally, how do you guys as an organization combat the stigma of like disability and ableism from like your as an organization? So what do you sort of do in that regard?
Well, I mean, I firmly believe that it's important that, everybody have a seat at the table. So we try to advocate to make sure that people with disabilities are being heard, whether it's at their municipal government meetings or, county commissioner meetings, or at the state capitol if they need to testify for a bill, or just in their day-to-day lives in their communities. Having that ability to, or have representation at all levels is important. We have an organization that we try to ensure that people with disabilities are represented in our organization, and in terms of hiring. I think that's really important. And then my personal work, I'm the communications and outreach advocate. And so in my work, I think it's really important that the information that we present to the world, be it through social media or our website, whatever, that's a really important piece to combat, or an important tool, I should say, to combat ableism. So we try really hard to make sure that, we follow the nothing about us without us mantra, because that's very, very important.
It is very important.